As a not so low key Gale hater and a high key Peeta lover, this scene is very important and it gets botched in the Catching Fire film. In the film, you're missing so much of the inner turmoil that Katniss faces after Gale is whipped. Just prior to this scene, Gale is being punished, and in the book, he's being punished for bringing a turkey to the head peacekeeper's house, who he thinks is Cray, but unbeknownst to him, that person has been replaced, and now that man wants to punish Gale, rightfully so, because that's what the law of Panem entails. But before that scene, Katniss and Gale are out in the woods. They're in the cabin in the woods, and they get into this argument where she is allowing him insight on the rebellion that is starting to take place, and he gets excited. This is what he's been waiting for. He says people in the mines have been talking about this, and when she tries to give him Cinna's gloves, he throws them at her feet. He says, "You could do so much more." And then he says, "I don't want anything that's made in the capital." So this is what Katniss is hearing as Gale is being injured. She feels, as she does in so many parts of the book, that this is her fault. She feels that she could have done more, that she could have stopped this from happening, that she could protect the people of her district if she would do as Gale was hinting, as Gale was suggesting. So as she is sitting there with him and he is on the table being cared for by her mother, she is very protective. She's yelling that he needs pain medication. She wants his suffering to end. And that's also tracks for Katniss. It doesn't have anything to do with romance. It has to do with her inability to watch people that she cares about struggle and be in pain. So once everyone has cleared the room and it's just the two of them, she says, now that Gale has drifted away on the painkiller, everyone seems to deflate. Okay, so they all leave, they walk away. Alone in the kitchen with Gale, I sit on Hazel's stool, holding his hand. After a while, my fingers find his face. I touch parts of him I have never had cause to touch before. His heavy dark eyebrows, the curve of his cheek, the line of his nose, the hollow at the base of his neck. I trace the outline of stubble on his jaw and finally work my way to his lips. Soft, full, slightly chapped. His breath warms my chilled skin. So she's just coming off of this revelation where Gale admits that he's in love with her. And I think she's feeling confused. And again, she is feeling guilt. She feels that this is her fault. She feels that she could have protected him and everyone in the district, and she is upset. Initially, she wants to run away, but when Gale doesn't agree to that, she continues to say that she's going to run away, but Peeta says, I know you won't. And she is feeling scared. I don't think this is as romantic as the movie wants to paint it out to be. So she says, does everyone look younger, asleep? Because right now he could be the boy that I ran into the woods years ago, the one who accused me of stealing from his traps. What a pair we were, fatherless, frightened, and fiercely committed to keeping our families alive. Desperate, yet no longer alone after that day because we'd found each other. They're trauma bonded. Nothing here is indicating romance. I think of 100 moments in the woods, lazy afternoons fishing, the day that I taught him to swim, that time I twisted my knee and he carried me home, mutually counting on each other, watching each other's backs, forcing each other to be brave. They were all each other had. Katniss's mother was despondent, Prim was too young. This is it for the both of them. For the first time, I reverse our positions in my head, which is something that someone with empathy would do. I imagine watching Gale volunteering to save Rory in the reaping, having him torn from my life, becoming some strange girl's lover to stay alive, and then coming home with her, living next to her, promising to marry her. The hatred I feel for him, for the Phantom Girl, for everything is so real and immediate that it chokes me. Gale is mine, and I am his. Anything else is unthinkable. They have a sense of belonging and ownership to one another. This entire book, up to this point, she is fighting so hard to get back to the life that she knew before the first games, before the 74th games. Gale is a part of that life. And her having possession of him doesn't necessarily need to be indicative of a romantic relationship. It's just possessive. I mean, if you've ever felt jealous over one of your girlfriends hanging out with another girlfriend, or, maybe your dog taking a liking to someone else, you weren't romantically interested in your dog or your friend. You just have a sense of claim and a sense of territorialness that naturally comes with intimate relationships like they have. And this is the person that she has spent all her time with. She has sort of, I've said this before, I'll say it again, she has sort of imparted some of the dad relationship that she is missing out on, that man in her life. It goes to Gale. They hunt together. He looks like her father. He ends up holding a coal miner's job just like her father and lives in the seam. She's just feeling possessive. And when you have so little, the idea of anyone taking it from you is very difficult. She says, why did it take him being whipped within an inch of his life to see it? because I'm selfish. I'm a coward. I'm the kind of girl who, when she might actually be of use, would run to stay alive and leave those who couldn't follow to suffer and die. This is the girl that Gale met in the woods today. And that's not true. Peeta knows this. Peeta knows that she was never going to run. He understands that that is not her character. But Gale, in what he has said to her, has twisted her thoughts and caused her to feel that this is who she is. And in this moment of grief, she is spiraling. She is grasping onto the thing that reminds her of her old life, which is Gale. She's doing what she thinks Gale wants her to do, which is join in the rebellion, join in the fight. I should be doing more. He's right. I'm wrong. I am a coward. I am something the Capitol made. So she's just being led down this path. And it's not even really Gale's fault. But the person that Katniss is if you say something to her, she's going to internalize it. And then she's going to work it out without talking to anyone. And so she doesn't talk this through with anyone. She doesn't tell anyone I'm a coward. She just talks to herself. So she's talking herself into this. No wonder I won the games no decent person ever does. You saved Peeta, I think, weekly. But now I question even that. I know good and well that my life back in 12 would be unlivable if I let that boy die. I rest my head toward the edge of the table, overcome with loathing for myself, wishing I had died in the arena. She's not mentally well here. At no point is she thinking through, I'm going to stay, I'm going to fight for Gale, I'm going to pick Gale. Him being hurt is the revelation I always needed to show my romantic feelings. No. She's just spiraling. Wishing Seneca Crane had blown me to bits the way President Snow said he should have when I held out the berries. The berries. And then I realized the answer to who I am lies in that handful of poisonous fruit. If I held them out to save Peeta because I knew that I would be shunned if I came back without him, then I am despicable. If I held them out because I loved him, then I am self-centered, although forgivable. But if I held them out to defy the Capitol, I am someone of worth. The trouble is, I don't know exactly what was going on inside my head at that moment. So she's confused and hurt. She's not well. And the only way she can identify, she wants to be a person of value. She wants to contribute something that's going to help people because she loves people. She is empathetic. She's a caring person. She wants to be helpful. And the only way she surmises right here in black and white to do that is if she joins the rebellion, which is what Gale was pushing her to do. Could it be the people in the districts are right? That it was an act of rebellion, even if it was an unconscious one, because deep down, I must know it isn't enough to keep myself or my family or my friends alive by running away. Even if I could, I wouldn't fix anything. It wouldn't stop people from being hurt the way Gale was today. And she whispers that she's sorry. She leans forward and she kisses him. You should never be kissing someone because they're in pain and you're sorry. You should be kissing them because you want to. And I don't know that she can separate what she wants from what she feels obligated to do. His eyelashes flutter. He looks at me through a haze of opiates. Hey, Catnip. Hey, Gale. I thought you'd be gone by now. My choices are simple. I can die like Corey in the woods, or I can die here beside Gale. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to stay right here and cause all kinds of trouble. Me too, Gale says. He just manages to smile before the drugs pull him back under. So I love this scene, and I think that you're missing that context when watching the film. And I think it's really vital into understanding the workings of Katniss's mind, the way she is coming up with who she wants to be, and how Gale and other people affect her decisions, and why it's so important, because this was never a love triangle.